Okay. Hi, Paul. Thanks for coming on to talk to me about your progress. This was a unique case because if you tell us a bit about yourself, you'll understand why maybe it's unusual that you might come to work with me.
Yeah, so I'm actually a coach myself. I'm still studying with IOPN at a diploma level. I've got a master's in nutrition. So it's not really that common that someone like me looks for coaching. But with yourself, it's the expertise that I kind of want. And obviously the accountability comes with that. And it was even made it more unique that there wasn't really a goal in mind when we first started, we were looking at I had an operation in November, but we actually got put forward 6 weeks. So sort of about 2 months into our coaching, I ended up sort of incapacitated from the knee down, which didn't make it ideal, but
No leg days.
no, well, limited legs.
Cool. And so you've got a master's in nutrition. So in terms of, because a lot of people come to work with me obviously don't know about nutrition, and that's part of the education process. And so what did you find you got out of, or what were you looking to get out of the coaching?
Firstly, the insight into how someone like yourself does coach, because as a coach myself, you always, and I think everybody that's been in that position always second guesses themselves when they might have a client that doesn't make the right progress and whatnot. And it's a very refreshing insight into how someone as educated and as sort of experienced as you does coach, and how you do get to the final decisions that do make progress for clients. And secondly, that the accountability comes with that, because whilst you can push yourself, and as we were discussing just beforehand, when you assess yourself, you're a lot easier for yourself to sort of put your hardship on yourself. And it's very easy for me to be like, sweet, I'll go and eat 1,600 calories there. Yeah. When it could be that I can actually get the same results, even on better results on what we found out at sort of 3,500.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, is like you said, is as a coach, when you are a coach yourself, it's very easy for you to just go, right, I'm just going to cut this calories and I'm just going to live with it because I'm a hardcore guy and I'll just put up with the suffering. But as we found out, we actually got into a lot better condition with more food, which is always very nice to do. And also, so you coach clients, you train yourself, and also you play cricket in a team.
Yeah. So I play cricket every Saturday and sort of twice midweek from sort of April to September.
Yeah. So we also had to consider that sort of nutrition side of things as well, and just tell us a bit about your lifestyle, what you do during the day.
So I work probably about 70 hours a week. I'm obviously studying. I'm looking at doing a PhD. Train 5 days a week. I have 30 to 35 one-to-one clients a week, plus 30 to 35 online clients. So a lot of it is program writing, following up with clients, speaking to clients, making sure clients are all right. And then, like, my downtime is I play the PlayStation.
Hey.
Literally all I do. So other than that, like, there is a lot of time sort of set aside for sort of the nutritional protocols that I put in myself and what you've sort of brought in with me. But it is a case of a lot of work, but then obviously through cricket season, I probably spend about 12, 15 hours playing cricket a week.
Yeah. So pretty active then.
Yeah, try to be.
Cool. Okay. So let's go into what we actually did. And also the training side of things. How did that differ from what you're doing before? Because many clients say that when they start working with me, the training is a completely different thing to what they've been used to. What were you used to doing before?
So I followed numerous sort of protocols, and obviously as a coach yourself, you do test your own programs to make sure they work more than anything. So I've pretty much always followed a sort of either a mesocycle or a macro cycle, where I might have a 12-week period of the same program week in, week out. And with coming on board with you, I think the first thing I struggled with was the fact that was sort of taken away. And I just had sort of 16 to 20 workouts that I just needed to get done.
Yeah.
I could take them at my own pace. I didn't have any distinguished days that they needed to be done. It was just a case of go and do them.
Mm.
And I think I even said to you in the first week, I was like, this is strange. And I think obviously you see the results and you sort of see how, like when you go through them, you do see how the programs, and there is a lot of thought process there, which is warranted why some of them are ridiculously hard. Not a fan of the front squats into back squats, but
I don't think any client is a fan of that superset, to be honest.
it's the fact that when you're warned, you literally put a note on it warning people that it's the hardest thing you've ever done, and you still put it as a second exercise.
Well, you know, it's a challenge. Everything after that is easy.
That's fair.
So I'm just going to share the screen so we can see the results. There's about, I think, 2 and a bit months. So
yeah. So we're at 3 months now, but obviously with the op.
Cool. So just come up here. So you can see on the this is the top weight we started at, and you can see already in like really, really lean condition, which is again unusual because many clients that come to me, they have body fat to lose, and they're not in this sort of really lean condition with the lower back here and abs and everything else. And I suppose the result here is that just gained a bit of muscle, filled out a bit more, but most importantly, didn't lose that conditioning. How do you feel was the improvements? How do you feel that they came on?
Yeah, I've just like training capacity just went straight up with the amount of food that I was happy to eat, not gonna lie. It was sort of complete trust really. Like I know that when clients do get their calories up, like people always sort of take a step back and say, oh, I can't eat that much. Whereas I'm just like, yeah, why not? And like eating that much and it just increased training capacity. I was training hard. The programs worked because the programs aren't easy. They're high volume, heavy, and you do feel them. So you feel like the justification of the calories are warranted. And I just seem to stay quite lean, and I just got bigger, which is always nice.
It's always a bonus. I mean, what's obviously a bit annoying here, we can't see how the food went up, but for the purposes of people watching, I think, did we end up in double the amount of carbs that you were eating, something like that?
Yeah, I went from, I think when I started with you, I was eating about 2,400 calories with the aim of getting leaner. That was our initial goal, wasn't it? And then obviously with my operation being brought forward, it's sort of a case of let's just maintain and try and get as big as possible before the operation. I was on about 2,400 calories at about 250 to 300 grams of carbs, and I think we topped out about 520.
It's a fair amount. And
yeah, like on cricket days, that went up even a little bit more.
Yeah, you can see the average. So here's the 3,000 here for the purposes, if you can't see the little tiny thing. And that was where we topped out on the calories, but also on the weight. And then this downward spike here is when you had the operation. So we dropped the calories to maintain that leanness. But if, see, this is so you can see the 12th of October here. This is the peak weight and also peak calories. And this is where the photo was taken, which is, I mean, I think from what I can see here, more on the legs, absolutely. But a lot of clients report that their legs from the front and back squats supersets. But yeah, but across the board here, what would you think your biggest improvements were?
From a physique, probably shoulders. Like I've noticed my shoulders more than I have anything else. Like, I mean, I've always played sports, so my legs have always been pretty good. And in this short space of time, we're not going to get that lateral sweep that I absolutely love. It's just not going to happen. But I mean, obviously my quads got bigger, but I'd say the biggest difference was my shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about your strength? Because sometimes when people, because obviously the training that I do is a lot of volume based stuff. So how did you feel your strength was effective or benefited from doing that?
I don't think it came up exponentially. Like I am quite strong anyway. I think I finished with a 150k back squat Starting at probably started at 135, I think. So it came up 15 kilos. I'll take that every day of the week.
That's 10%. That's all right.
Then with incline bench press, that's now up to sort of 102, 105. Leg press was over 300, but there's no point bragging about
that. A win's a win.
Yeah, I mean, everything came up, but there was a lot of exercises in the programs that I wouldn't habitually do. So there was a lot of new stuff as well that obviously grew as I did the program. So like your floating deadlifts and things like that are all big exercises that I've never really done before. So you start at quite a low capacity because you sort of second guess yourself, like, how am I going to do this exercise? Let's perform it well. You might start 100 kilos and end up at sort of 120, 130. It's always a benefit.
And how do you enjoy? Obviously, the initial was like, I'm not used to all this sort of stuff. But as it went on, how do you enjoy, dislike the workouts?
Some of them were brilliant. Some of them obviously just tailored because they're not tailored to sort of my likes and dislikes. You had some where you'd like 5 or 6 exercises, and then you'd have some where you'd only like 1. Like your obsession with upright rows doesn't suit me because I hate upright rows. But I think there's 4 different variants I've done in the last 2 months. I think it may have been 5. But
your shoulders got bigger.
Yeah, so it's stuff. It's probably stuff that goes against my sort of confirmation bias of I don't like doing upright rows, so therefore I don't do them. Whereas it's that you fall into that easy thing of I'm just not going to do it because I don't like them.
Yeah.
Same reason people's calves don't grow, and then you do them and you're like, oh my shoulders are bigger now. Yeah.
That's good though. So most importantly, I suppose, because we're coming to the end of things now, and you're going off and obviously got your own thing. Are you going to go back to what you were doing before, or is there going to be a blend of what I taught you and what you were doing before?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest decisions for me to come to someone like yourself is, like I said, is to see how you coach and not just be coached. Because I think as coaches ourselves, we need to be able to be coached.
Yeah.
I like to see how you do it. And obviously with you being someone that I look up to in the industry, it's easy for me to sort of see what you're doing and question why I'm not where you are. And obviously to take those strides forward, I need to sort of see what you're doing. So that was one of the reasons I reached out to you, and I've learned so much more than I even expected to. So I do think that there's going to be a blend of the stuff that I do habitually with clients, because obviously I know that what you've done with me, I am, as we've discussed, I'm not a typical client for people. And obviously most of my clients are female weight loss. They're not quite lean and know what they're doing. So there is going to be a blend of the old style that I have, but there's definitely going to be things coming in and just seeing how you do things and how it's sort of put to me as well.
Yeah.
I think the value for money is definitely there.
Oh, bro. Well, thanks for the compliment. It's nice.
There's no compliments there.
Bro, well, thanks for coming on and having a chat. And I wish you all the success with your new doctorate that you're about to undertake. Tell us a little bit about that. What's that going to entail?
5 years of hell, I think. So I'm looking at how satiety and foods that create the sensation of fullness affect obesity. How I'm going to do that yet is undecided, but that is the aim.
Lots of trial eating procedures.
Yeah, and other random things.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Paul. Thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. And I will speak to you soon.